Going on, guys, Jurassic here. Today we're back to Hogwarts Legacy. By the way, the game has a new patch out on PC and it seems to be running much better even from last time.
You're back.
Finally. Minister Spavin talks more than he listens. Ranted on and on about rogue dragons. Wouldn't listen to a word about goblins. Speaking of which...
Listen, Professor. So much happened while you were away. Eldridge Diggory's portrait in the common room told me about his great niece, Helen.
His great niece?
Yes, she used to be an Auror. Well, she took me to Azkaban to meet Anne Thisbe.
You went to Azkaban?
Quite an experience. But you see, Anne knew Richard Jackdaw before he died, so I had to find his ghost.
Who on earth is Richard Jackdaw?
He was a student here long ago. Anyway, he told me about a secret cavern. I went there, and right next to Jackdaw's skeleton, I found the missing pages.
You found the pages?
I did. And because Jackdaw had followed the map they contained, when I found the pages, I found the location on the map. Believe it or not, it's a room below Hogwarts.
Why am I not surprised? Shall we?
I was hoping you'd say that. Oh, and we'll need to bring the book.
So we'll see. From what I've played so far, I would definitely recommend the game now.
And a portrait of Percival Rackham awaits us there.
Professor Rackham. I look forward to meeting him. How did this Jackdaw get the pages from the book?
Evidently, Peeves stole them, and Jackdaw stole them from him.
Oh, Peeves.
Yeah, we should have figured.
The both of you. Keep your wits about you.
Sit here, dare speak to me.
To think it was beneath us all this time. This looks promising. Map. There's Hogsmead. And over here, the Forbidden Forest. And, of course, Hogwarts. It's magnificent. If only you were here to see this.
Now last time, Professor, I swear there was people. There they go. Speak with the portrait of Professor Rackham.
Hello, Professor Rackham. We've placed the book on the pedestal as you asked. And this is my mentor, Professor Fig.
How do you do, Professor Fig? And you, my young friend, see now why you needed to return with the book?
I do. I also see why you refer to this room as the map chamber.
That you have come this far tells me that you possess extraordinary magical ability, the potential and power of which will unlock should you prove yourself worthy. The location of each of 4 trials will, in time, appear on the map. Trials that will test you and give you access to invaluable knowledge. Trials that you must complete on your own. Do you recall the pensive memory you viewed in my vault in Gringotts?
I do. I don't recall fully.
I do recall seeing the memory, but I don't remember all of the details.
My friend Charles and I spoke of the portkey and of trials we'd created for one who could see traces of ancient magic. Charles is another of the keepers, a designation we gave ourselves centuries ago, in light of the knowledge that we have been bound to keep hidden. Until perhaps now.
So, the passage from your ruins to Gringotts, everything in the vault, the restricted section, finding this room, none of these was a trial.
They were an important part of the journey, but they were not trials themselves. The fact that you have come this far, however, bodes well. The trials were designed to ensure that the power and knowledge we have kept secret for so long does not fall into the wrong hands. They will test your abilities, both innate and learned. But of equal importance, everything you witness as you complete the trials will inform what you choose to do with all that we share. You will need patience. The trials have much to teach you. It will take time.
I'm afraid we don't have the luxury of time.
We have waited this long, Professor Fig. Surely a few more.
Respectfully, sir, while I do not know the secret you keep, I do know that our young friend here has seen traces of a powerful dark magic being wielded by goblin kind. And we encountered an uncommonly powerful goblin wielding such magic as we prepared to leave your vault at Gringotts. We may already be too late.
This is grave news indeed. Young friend, do you trust Professor Fig?
I do.
Then, in the light of your considerable skill and all you have already accomplished, we shall begin. You will find the location of the first trial marked on the map below you. Whilst Professor Fig may assist you in locating the trials, they may be completed only by one with our ability.
Shall we have a look? I know that tower. It's not far. You may have seen it yourself.
I believe I have. It doesn't look familiar.
I don't think I have. Perhaps your young friend is not as well traveled as you think.
As your mentor, the least I can do is go ahead to make sure it is safe. Join me as soon as you can.
I'll see you there. Do you know anything about the tower?
You said that you know that tower. What can you tell me about it?
Not much, I'm afraid. I've passed it dozens of times. It's north of Hogsmead. My recollection is that it seems abandoned. Clearly, however, the tower conceals more than meets the eye.
See you there, Professor.
I'll find you at the tower as soon as I can.
Until then, be careful, and do not tell anyone where you're going.
So I thought we would actually have a choice to say if we, trusted him or not. It's just, oh yeah, we trust him. Show him the location of all the power on the map. And then he just goes off and does his own thing and doesn't even take us there. Get out of the way, Fig.
It's time you learned, Glacius, the freezing spell. It is an efficient way to cool down a heated situation. But first, I will need you to complete a few tasks. Once you've done that, come and see me.
I like the fact that in this game, it's actually relatively fast for you to actually travel around on a broom. Now, obviously, you can teleport around in some locations if they have a teleporter. However, the broom actually gets you there relatively quickly. Now, there is going to be a couple other animals that we will get to fly eventually as well. But we'll wait for that.
Over here.
Hello, Professor.
We're not alone.
We are not. Ranrock's loyalists. Around a dozen I can see, but could be more.
Can't we apparate past them into the tower?
We could, but we've no idea what's in the tower. More importantly, however, I'd like to know why they're here. They've set up camp just ahead. I suggest we investigate a little before doing anything else. Let's go.
Ah, I see what you want. We need some polyjuice.
Ideal.
No, it isn't. This way. And I'd suggest we use the disillusionment charm here. No sense in announcing our arrival.
All right, hold on. Do we have the disillusionment charm? All right, so that's going to be the new eyeballs. Let's go with Accio. Rid of you. We'll have Levioso and Fringo? That one was actually pretty powerful. Probably go with that one. Alright, we should be good to go.
You haven't had mushroom.
So I'm guessing he doesn't necessarily have to do anything, but we're the ones who have to definitely. Reaching an enemy undetected allows you to cast Petrificus Totalis, which will permanently incapacitate a weaker enemy or significantly damage a stronger one. See if we're actually going to be killing them or what the plan is.
Stay hidden and cast Petrificus Totalis.
Only following orders.
Petrificus Totalis.
Someone else's direct.
Well done.
Okay, so we turn him into a stone and we just sneak on by. What's happening?
There must be something here. Ramrock said so.
All right, so we got some on the right side. We're definitely going to need to be super careful.
There must be something.
This appears like they completely set us up to fail. The fact that every single corner around here has like alternate options of doing powerful moves. But we'll see. You know what? If those two are distracted, we'll get the dude in the middle. So I don't think he's going to be able to see. So if we sneak up around here.
Petrificus Totalis.
There must be something here. Ramrock said so.
Now they got the mage over there walking around. If he looks over to the left.
Couldn't pay me enough to
Yeah,
sit behind
perfect.
a desk all day.
Wait for us to sneak up around here. And like so, you are knocked out. Alright, so we got that group dealt with. We got two over there. I mean, it's looking like we should be able to do this completely stealthy. We might have to give up our location whenever we try to kill the other group around the corner, though.
Petrificus Totalis.
One more group that we need to turn to stone. Alright, now this next group's going to be right next to each other, so this is definitely going to be a little bit more complicated. I mean, we could always do like one of our finishing moves on them. Maybe they're not as smart as we're giving them credit for. That's a possibility.
Who's there? You will regret.
So much for stealth. I'd like to say that we did it without anything getting alerted, though, so that's good. Investigate the goblin presence. Alright, so something in this area must be telling them why they're here. Alright, so down there is more of that crystal and obviously a cave entrance, but that's going to be a little bit outside of our search radius here. And the two dudes were sort of over inside this little camp area, so maybe this is like where a map table would be?
Orders. Directly from Ranrock.
These orders indicate that they're after something to do with names.
Search the tower in the surrounding area. Look for anything to do with names. What you find here could be the key to the goblin kind finally taking its rightful place in the world. More of a speculation sort of deal. That is some proof.
I will draw blood.
Don't think you will. Woo.
You got it. Much Let's get this over with. Number one. Come in.
Hold on.
I've been fighting since before. Surrender now.
Alright, now we're starting to get the hang of it. A little bit rough start there. I am kind of worried. I basically used every single health potion possible. We did survive. There's definitely a note on the ground there, but it won't let us pick it up. Alright, Professor. Where are you going? Alright, so hold on. So first things we need to get rid of this little invisibility thing. So we got fire. Let's see. Spell yarn must probably be a little bit more useful, so we'll grab that. We'll wait for the professor to jaywalk over to the tower. Even though you're not allowed to see anything.
It's locked.
Cheater.
An unlocking charm.
Very handy. No time now, but if you don't learn it soon enough, we can work on it back at the castle.
Huh. So I wonder if that means if we had done enough like side quests, we would have learned it by now.
Someone was an avid reader. Can't say I'm familiar with many of these titles.
But it could just be the way the story plays out.
I wonder who this is.
With robes like that, it could be anyone.
Okay, so we got some money. We have some new attire. Sweet. Be cool if we had magical brooms around the world. Be able just to have it constantly sweep for you. Scottish jumper attire. We got a whole bunch of random armor.
I imagine these brooms have been enchanted for centuries. Never seen an enchantment last this long.
I mean, it is just the tower, so I don't think it would be centuries.
Welcome to Sanbakar's tower.
Thank you, Mr. Painting. Alright, so grab up the gold.
Hello, Professor. Did you say Sambakar's tower?
I did. Professor Bakar is a keeper you have yet to encounter. I'm glad to see that I was correct in presuming that we would meet again soon after our last encounter, though I surmise, based on the commotion I heard, that you did not have an easy time getting to me.
We did not, Professor. We encountered goblins outside the tower.
That goblins were aware of my vault is disquieting enough. But if they have also made a connection to this tower, then the threat may be greater than I thought. All the more reason for us to move forward. Downstairs, near the entry, a reservoir of ancient magic, like those you've seen before, has been unlocked. Command it to access a doorway. I'm afraid I cannot say more. As Professor Fig cannot join you, he and I will, in time, see you back at the map chamber. Remember what you see.
We're going to need to understand how Ranrock's loyalists knew about a tower that once belonged to a keeper. For the moment, however, you've more important things to set your mind to. A reservoir of ancient magic, I believe?
Yes, sir.
Then I shall leave matters in your increasingly capable hands. That said, be careful.
I will, sir. I'll see you back in the map chamber.
Okay, so find the entrance to the first trial.
A reservoir of ancient magic, downstairs, near the entry.
We need to find something that looks ancient around here. Without done. Did I land on it? Nailed it. Alright, well, good news is we know that no one's probably going to be inside this room. There might be a few, like, enchanted statues here and there to keep us out, but should be relatively safe. Into the first trial. Alright, complete the Percival Rackham
I've seen this
trial.
before, in Gringotts and the restricted section.
I will say this is a very cool game. I like it. Alright, so last time there was a whole bunch of crazy things trying to kill us. I don't trust this statue at all. Or that one. So we need to find a way to make a new bridge appear. We got some stairs on the left and right side.
Impressive. That must have done something. Best have a look around.
Alright, so we made the next magical bridge appear. Got a chest to the left and a chest to the right. Got us some gold. Nice. We do have some crazy pumpkins that we can use to eat our enemies as well, if it comes a time that we panic. So we don't have any health potions. Ooh, this is gonna be trippy. I like it. Alright, so hold on, make it over to the next room. Looks like another magical portal. I'm guessing we're about to spawn something in again. Around over here.
More traces of ancient magic. Something must be different.
Obviously, the portal behind us opened up. All right, well, through the next portal. Okay, so I thought we were going to light that, but it looks like it does nothing.
Expelliarmus. Confringo.
Just in case. All right, now.
These are never a
What's gonna
welcome
happen here?
sight. At least I know what to expect this time. Expelliarmus. Protego.
See, this time we're upgraded. Ish. Oh! I thought I'd be out of moving time. I was wrong.
Protego. Stupefy.
Alright, so that one's destroyed. Oh, it's just a little guy. Is that it? We only had to kill 3? Alright, so over behind the statue.
These look familiar. Accio.
Bring this dude over to us. I don't know why we couldn't do that on the ground, so something has to be up here that's completely different. I mean, obviously there's a chest and stuff in the middle.
The room changes when I move in and out of the archway. More statues.
Alright, so that's not good. Hold on. So let's do our super move. Wipe that one out. I wonder if we were supposed to go on to the other side, or what we were actually supposed to be doing. Oh, is he stuck? Alright, we'll play it to our advantage.
Not making this easy on me.
Oh, did the portal behind us close?
More statues.
Okay, I was not expecting that. Obviously, that's going to be over in the next level, so we need to find a way to get up. Then on top of it. So if we bring you around over here, obviously this is going to be where we're supposed to. Is the portal up top? Alright, so open up the room behind us.
Levioso! Accio!
So we can't actually do anything with that though. And our guy is too tall, right? So we got the stairwell there.
Levioso! Accio!
You know what? You can see the rubble down here. I bet we do it like that. Theoretically, it should be lined up on the right side now. So now we'll go through, go back up the stairs, and we should be able to get on top of the platform, get over to the other side. Oh, we were a little off. Not too bad though.
I need to see how the room changes when I move in and out of the archway.
Alright, we made it to the next side.
I'll never get used to these floors.
They're kind of cool. I like them. They're a little trippy, obviously, because it makes it seem like you're going up and down when in reality you're just sort of sitting in the same spot. Alright, so it looks like we are going to go into another big fight. The only one?
Expelliarmus!
50 seconds. See here.
Confringo! Accio!
I was trying to move out the way.
Expelliarmus! Protego!
You know, I don't necessarily know how to actually get out of there in time.
Expelliarmus!
Get up and run. It's a horrible strategy, but it's the only one I can think of at the moment.
Confringo! Stupefy!
Alright, there we go. We got the big one dead.
Expelliarmus! Protego! Stupefy!
Get up, get up, get up!
Confringo! Expelliarmus!
Alright, so the number one stop we have to do once we get out of this dungeon is buy health potions. So we didn't necessarily come prepared. Alright, so new portal just opened up. How are we? This makes it way too obvious, so something's gonna have to change.
Levioso! Accio!
Alright, so hold on.
Accio!
So that portal, we have to find a way to lower that guy. But how would we do that? Aha! Nice!
Accio!
That's pretty cool. I didn't realize you could bring a structure from one area to another. Alright, so now we're starting to get somewhere. Now, is this back at the entrance? This looks right where we started from. Alright, well, nothing's trying to kill us yet, so that's a good sign. I think we completed it. Alright, so we got 5 potions. That's never a good sign when a game gives you health potions. You know there's about to be a crazy fight.
Oh, look at this. Expelliarmus! Confringo! Expelliarmus! Stupefy! Protego! Expelliarmus!
Alright, so hold on. Bam! Alright, Confringo is definitely the key to stopping this dude. Alright, so you see yellow orb? Levioso is the key. There we go. Nice. So I don't know how to combat that if you have to do 2 of them. Actually, I wonder if we had like 2 of them in our lineup, if we would be able to, you know, like stack them like that. I never actually tried to do that, so it might be possible.
What a relief.
That it? There's a big giant statue of a guy's head, so I'm kind of curious about another boss fight. Although it does look like the guy in the painting. Hold on, before we even touch that. Now we touch it.
Your ability to transfigure the world around you is remarkable. What is it?
My father isn't getting better. I don't think he'll ever recover from the death of my brother.
It is agonizing to see those we love suffer.
The drought was years ago, but the pain of losing him is as deep for him now as if it had happened only yesterday. He doesn't need pretty pillars, he needs peace. What if I could help him, Professor?
You do so much for your father already.
It's not enough. I want to take away his pain.
It is tempting, I know, to use this magic that you're mastering to transfigure more than the physical world. But human emotion is a potent force unto itself. Even the most well-meaning and competent witch cannot possibly know the consequences of irrevocably manipulating it.
So I'm to watch as my father's pain destroys him.
It is not your pain to take. Every year, a student sees something sillier than I could ever imagine in their tea leaves. Oh, Miss Morganach, welcome back to Hogwarts, Professor.
That's going to take some getting used to. Professor Rickwood?
I was so pleased to hear that you'd accepted the position of Defense Against the Dark Arts, Professor.
Sit, Isadora. Tell us about your travels.
I was actually hoping that you and the others might join me at my home this evening. There's much I'd like to share with you.
That would be delightful. We shall let the others know.
Very well. I shall see you then.
Another memory. Now to find a way out of here.
Seems relatively simple.
Crystallized stone. That must be the way back to the map chamber.
Alright guys, that's going to be it for today. If you guys enjoyed, please like and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one.